Hello! So in this No Bullshit Sunday review, we're going to be taking a look at a week with the Note 7 and a week without my Note 5, and if the upgrade is worth it for you. Cut 2. So my first impressions of the phone, as soon as I took it out of the box, it is definitely one of the most beautiful phones I've ever seen. The Gorilla Glass 5 on it gives it such a smooth touch. The edges on it look really cool. I chose to go with the black version, and instead of the Note 5 and the Note 4 that had silver bezels around it, around the edge and the home button, the Note 5 is just completely matte black, which I thought was a little extra detail that Samsung did pretty well with the Note 7. So although the edge on this phone does give it a more sophisticated look, and it is a little bit easier to hold because it is a big phone and it is perfectly symmetrical, I don't find much of a use in the actual edge features. I feel like it's more of a novelty at this point. Like when you swipe to the side, you have little shortcuts for your contacts, for the weather, for your apps, and there's a couple other things that you can set, but I don't think that this is something that you need. I feel like this is something you could download in the App Store and it isn't all that useful. One cool thing about the edge though is when you set it face down on a flat surface, it gives you these little animations that are different colors when you have an incoming call, text, or an email. So it's just a little way of the phone letting you know, hey, you have something incoming. One of the main reasons I upgraded from the Note 5 to the Note 7 was the battery life. Those extra milliamp hours definitely went a long way. With the Note 5, I was getting to the point where I'd only get about 3 hours of on-screen usage, which was freaking ridiculous. But with the Note 7, I mean, I could go through the day playing Pokemon Go, I could navigate on maps, I could go on YouTube, I could go on Netflix, I could go on the internet, I could go on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And with heavy usage, I'll get home after about a 12-hour day and I'll still have about 15% left on my phone. Fast charging definitely isn't as fast on the Note 7 as it was on the Note 5, and that's kind of common sense because it has a bigger battery, and I don't know why people are complaining about that, but you have to think about it. You have a bigger battery, you need to charge it a little bit longer. One thing I'm curious to see about the Note 7 is how it handles external storage, because I remember with the Note 4, with the external storage, if you had pictures, music, and videos on your external storage, and you had some pictures, music, and video on the actual phone, it used to have to pick and choose where everything was, and it kind of confused the phone and made it slow down a huge amount, and that was a big annoyance on my part, so I'm kind of curious to see if the Note 7 handles external storage a little bit better. Although the Note 7 does have a 12 megapixel camera as opposed to the Note 5 that had a 16 megapixel camera, that by no means compromises any quality. I think the color space, the resolution, and the video performs just as well, if not better, on the Note 7. Where I noticed the biggest difference in terms of the Note 7 camera was the slow-mo video capture. I do a lot of slow-mo video capture and I think it is a great thing to have, but when you were to scale down to an eighth on the Note 5, it was very choppy, and that's because it couldn't produce a high enough frame rate. And on the Note 7, it is buttery smooth and it just looks great. In terms of the S Pen, I know it does have more precision points and it is a little bit more sensitive. Personally, I don't notice a difference. I use it for jotting down notes and signing contracts. I'm not one who draws pictures and paints stuff on my phone. It may make a difference if you are one of those people who use it for art, but for somebody like me who just uses it for signing stuff and scrolling through the web, it's not something that I need every day. In terms of speed, it is exactly the same as the Note 5. It has the same processor. It does look a little bit nicer because they've refreshed the UI, it gave curved edges to the apps and a white background, and all stuff they could fix in software updates for the Note 5, but they're probably not going to. But that's the only difference I noticed in terms of software and speed. One of those stupid little things that they do with the software upgrade that I can't get used to is the drop-down menu. When you scroll down, instead of scrolling left and right like with previous Samsung phones, you now have to scroll down for more of your apps and icons. So I know it's not the biggest deal, but it's something that you have to get used to, and it's something that's an annoyance at first. Another thing with the drop-down menu, instead of holding down the app to get to the settings, you have to hit the little drop-down menu under it, and that's something, again, that was different on the previous Notes, so I'm not used to it, and it's going to take some time. Fuck you, Samsung. So there you have it. The IR Blaster didn't work when I tried to open it. It's pretty much a novelty at this point. It doesn't work all the time, and it's a little bit of a pain in the ass to get it to work. It takes a lot longer than your fingerprint. It definitely takes longer than a password. And for me, it's just a novelty, and it's something that will develop over time with technology, and I see an improvement somewhere, but I don't see a use for it now. Okay, this one's a tribute back to the Note 4 days. Why the fuck did you take out the IR blaster, Samsung? That was one of my favorite features, and I'm sure a lot of other people use that all the time too. I'm an idiot and I'm always losing my remote. My initial reaction was to always grab my phone and change the channel with my phone. Now I pick it up and it doesn't work. That is something you need to put back in my opinion. Alright, so I'm going to start off by saying, fuck Apple Pay. People don't know what Samsung Pay is, and I think it is the greatest thing in the world. It basically mimics the swipe of a credit card, so you can use it with any credit card reader. It doesn't need an NFC chip or any of that. You just put it up to the side of a credit card reader. The cashier is going to tell you, oh, it's not going to work because we don't have NFC. And then you prove them wrong, and it's pretty cool. One of the biggest reasons that I considered upgrading to the Note 7 was the waterproofing features. If you're one of those people who wants to take it by a pool, or if you drop it in the toilet all the time, or if you're in the shower, you want to take down some notes, the S Pen does work in the shower, which is really cool, and that's how I got the notes for this video. Or you want to take selfies while you're shaving, or if you want to take some nudies while you're in the shower, this is the phone for you. So what's inside the box of the Note 7 is pretty similar to the Note 5. It has the headphones, it has the charger cable, and it has a charging port. And since the Note 7 is USB-C, it comes with a USB-C cable, it comes with a USB-C to micro USB cable adapter, which is pretty useful, but it's something that's very small that I may end up losing. And it also has a USB-C to actual USB connector, so if you're transferring data from like an iPhone or another Android phone, it makes it a lot easier and quicker than going through Wi-Fi. So hopefully this video helped you make a decision if the Note 7 really was a worthy upgrade. If you like this video, rate, comment, subscribe, and if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask them. I'll try to address them in my next video or help you out and reply to your comments. And that's it. That's my review on the Note 7. So in this no bullshit Sunday review, we're going to be taking a look at, oh my god, I hate the intros.